ChucTayyy, and I am here with your RETV Sports Break. You can catch me here every Thursday, talking junk, spitting facts. Let's hop into it. Really quick, Suns are leading 2-1. So remember, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I said Suns in 5. It's looking like that's coming into fruition. So when it does, y'all just be sure to at your girl, because I don't really think the Suns are going to give up more than one, and I didn't think the Bucks were going to get swept, and I think it's just kind of that simple. But Chris Middleton, Giannis, they don't have it to completely ward them off. So Suns in 5, that's what I'm going with. Team USA men, it's looking real. I even think saying they're going to win the bronze is a stretch at this point, but, you know, who am I? They lost back-to-back exhibition games, finally win their third one, and it's looking real blame game-like for me. So, of course, they're like, oh, we don't have this person, and we're waiting on these people, and the refs are not calling it the way that they call it when we're at home. And it was brought to my attention, because I'm not going to take credit for this. This is not my original thought, I should say. All the other leagues, FIBA, they're a little more physical. Like, when you think about the NBA, maybe like 20 years ago-ish, and they're like, oh, it's physical, and you see like Larry Bird getting in a fight with somebody, and, pre-Malice in the Palace, right? Like, back then, it was physical, right? It was a lot more pushing. It was literal fights. It was almost like watching hockey, right? Except no pads and, things like that. So it's a little more physical, and then they kind of got away from that. They also start letting them travel, but that's, literally travel, like take steps. But that's a different story. So the latest thing that I saw is that there's a complaint that the refs are not calling these fouls that you would normally get on this side of the pond. And that prompted a conversation with myself and a friend. And it's like, but FIBA is a lot more, it's a lot more physical. So, if you can't handle, so to speak, hard fouls, like there's going to be a problem, because that is the way that they play basketball, and not like, with intent to injure, but just, you might bump the cutter, all of that kind of stuff. Like, you're probably not going to get that call unless it's like a down goes Frazier moment. So anyway, I say all that to say, they're like chock full of excuses for me. And the hill that I will die on this week is when they don't go gold, because they're not going to win the gold. It's not going to happen. I'm not even 100% sure that they're going to place at all, but who am I? The excuse is going to be either the refs, it is going to be that some of their players came from the finals, immediately jumped in, and they're tired, they're fatigued, so on and so forth. Or it's going to be that they are missing players, like LeBron, like James Harden, so on and so forth. So, still very interesting to see, but the fact that they lost back-to-back exhibition games does not look good for them. So again, developing story. Olympics are a couple of weeks away at this point, so we're just gonna keep on rolling there. This just in, literally about an hour before I opened up this iPad, Richard Sherman is in the clink in Seattle. It's not funny, but they have picked him up at wee hour of the morning time, Seattle time, for burglary, domestic violence. In addition to a hit and run where he literally hit a barrier and then like abandoned the car, like an hour before this burglary domestic violence charge happened. So basically what we know now is that he was attempting to break into a family member's home, a home that he does not live in, and then said family member called the police come, he's belligerent, he's trying to fight him off, and then they finally get him restrained. He is in jail without any kind of bail or anything like that. And according to reports, that is normal for this type of charge. So he will sit there until they decide what to do with him. I really wish I don't want to say I wish football players, but this seems to be a thing amongst that community. Obviously, it is not all. I am not making that generalization for clarity before y'all try to cancel me saying I said something that I didn't actually say. However, this seems to be something that is more prominent in the football community, and I really just kind of wish that they would get it together. I'm not sure. It sounds like, according to reports, because again, this literally just happened in the last few hours before I decided to talk to this iPad. And it sounds like he was not like inebriated. It doesn't seem like there was anything wrong. They did, in fact, take him to a hospital for observation. Hospital was like, nah, he's good. So off to the slammer you go, pimp. So I just kind of want them to get it together. I'm not really sure what's happening. It could be, you know, some CTE stuff. There's just a lot of variables here. It just, for me, when I heard this story, what riled my spirit up, so to speak, is that I just feel like when you hear of these types of things, domestic violence, domestic abuse, I've never actually heard the term burglary domestic violence before. That's new for me, and I'm like, you know, watching all kind of murder, death, kill stuff, you know, IDTV, but nevertheless, that's a new one for me. I haven't quite heard that one before, but it just, there seems to be some weird domestic something trend, and I don't like it, and I just really want people to get help, and I want them to be safe. I want everybody to be safe, victims, perpetrators, all of it. I don't know what's going on, but you know, again, developing story. As of right now, he sits in jail and will be charged with something, and then more things will start to come out later. Last but certainly not least, we don't talk a lot about soccer here. We probably will with the Olympics coming up at this point. But over the weekend, I believe it was over the weekend. It's been a long week already, guys. But over the weekend, the EuroLeague was having their, the word is escaping me, but they were having it. Tournament, series, cup, it was happening. And England, Italy, tied 1-1. We got some penalty shots. 3 black players on England's team, which a team, from what I understand, has been previously praised for its diversity. 3 young black men. I promise you I'm not going to attempt to say their last names, but I have Marcus, I believe his name is Jaden, and I believe the last one's name, I believe you say it, rather, is Bukayo. Penalty shots, all 3 of them miss. England loses the game. So what happens? The England fans, all of a sudden, are now making racist remarks and threatening them over social media. One of the players had his face on a wall, like on a building, a painting that somebody did, like a mural, right? Defaced almost immediately. And everybody's all up in arms about this, as they should be, because, you know, racism is it's not the way. I don't even have anything else to say. It's just not okay. Like, and the fact that we still have to talk about this is wild, beyond imagination. But these 3 young players, it goes to show that as long as black people are doing what other people want them to do, it's all good. As soon as we go against something that you go against, do something incorrectly, whatever it is, however you want to categorize it, against what you think is the correct thing, then we are all kind of, whoo. And now all of a sudden, where black animals, monkeys, any kind of derogatory anything you could say, to the point where social media, of course, has blown up in support of these three young men. I mean, we are talking young. The youngest one, he's 19. They're like 19, 21, and 22, something like that. These are young men who, like, if y'all would have won that game, they would have been every little savior. God bless them. All of it. All of it. And it's tough. You know, I've never been in such a clutch situation, if you will. And it is super unfortunate that all three of them don't convert their penalty shots, right? And they lose. They lose by one. Italy wins. And that's it. But it is super disheartening to hear that it happened to these three young men, and that, again, a team who has been praised for their diversity and inclusion and all of that, that your fans, the people that you play for, you wear the jersey for them to watch, be entertained, and all of the other things that come with sports. For you to say that, to be attacking them. And it was even to the point where I saw on social media that, now I can't remember who it is, but they were saying that they were throwing black people into the river. Like, just people, not these players, but people, because there was such an outrage towards the black community there because of what happened in this soccer game. And it's terrible. It's terrible. It's really disheartening. And, you know, we here support these players and, you know, wish them nothing but the best going forward, and really hope, I mean, the Prime Minister, everyone's coming out in support of them. So that's, you know, that's amazing. But it sucks that we even have to continue to have these conversations because, again, had they converted those penalty shots, had they won that game, it would have been all types of, you are my favorite. It's there's a lot of things that I could say. It's disheartening is the thing that I'm going to say. And we will continue to stand with those three young men. And that is it for me this week. You know, I feel like there's a lot going on. And for the last couple weeks, I feel like we end on some sort of somber note like that. So actually, before I go, allow me to say on an up note, and we will revisit this again next week. Space Jam, I guess it's not Space Jam 2, but it comes out this weekend, and, you know, red carpet, I saw LeBron James and Chris Bosh hugging it out and being bros, and, you know, Chris Bosh had his LeBron jersey on, or Kobe jersey on. I got it. Cool. Great. So my thoughts on this, I'm going to go see it on Friday. So next week I will give you my actual thoughts. I didn't need it. I'm still going to go see it because duh. I'm not sure how I feel about the fact that I saw like Fred Flintstone and like Iron Giant. I can't really tell if we're going to get that whole, I stole the talent from the NBA players thing. I kind of felt like that was like the best part of regular Space Jam, but we'll see. We'll see what it is. If you go see it this weekend, leave us a comment, DM me, send me a message, whatever it is. You can follow me on Instagram at ChucTayyy, ChucTA, 3 Ys. Let me know what you thought. I'm going to go see it on Friday. So next week we will talk a little bit about it. And yeah, so we'll end on a elevated note. I am out for real this time, guys. It is your girl ChucTayyy. You can catch me here every Thursday talking junk, spitting facts.